Guys, welcome to another episode of Teens Talk with Nifemi podcast. It's your host Oluwani Femi, and I'm so happy to be here once again. I hope you are good, and I hope you're doing fine too. So yeah, last week's episode we talked about a topic titled "Trust Him," and it was an amazing episode because I talked about trusting God, why we should trust Him, and what we gain from trusting God. And I really enjoyed recording that episode because I became more intentional about trusting God in every situation, in every circumstance. So, yes, if you have not listened to that episode, please head down to Teen Talk with Femi podcast and listen to that episode. Thank you so much. So, how my week went? My week was okay. We thank God. In all things, we should give thanks. In all things, we should give thanks. God has been good. God has been faithful, and you always remain faithful to me. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the business of the day. Reset. Reset. Have you taken time to reset? Resetting simply means to consciously reassess different areas of your life: emotional, mental, physical. And I want us to understand that having a reset is very important. Now, I want to give this analogy. Whenever your computer seems to be hanging, or maybe it's just having little glitches, you have the option of resetting the computer. And you notice that when you reset the computer and it comes back on, it acts better and it functions better. Yeah, don't mind me using the analogy of a computer. I love computers, by the way. So yeah, or when you are using your phone and it's hanging, maybe because you have too much load on your phone or the storage is full, and you notice that when you reset your phone, it ends up working better and it doesn't hang as much as it would hang on a normal day. So yes, that's how important resetting is. It makes you function better, and it has positive and remarkable changes in your personal growth. So last week I was having a conversation with one of my friends. Her name is Theodora. So while we were having this conversation, I was basically just ranting to her about how stressed I've been, and I just feel like I just needed a break to give myself time and to just take time off for myself and re-strategize and like reset basically. And she also talked to me about how she also needed to reset because she has been feeling stressed from the week's work. She had a lot to do, she has not been able to have enough of sleep, and she was like she just needed to reset. So I just chose to talk about that topic. So when you feel overwhelmed, all what you need to do is reset. So I'm going to be sharing my experience having to pause some things in your life and hoping that you will be able to press play on them very soon. And I could resonate with that quote because it was what I was going through at that time. I was into a lot of things basically. I had this career pathway program I was attending, academics on the other side, a lot of committees I was into, a lot of things I was just trying to meet up to, a lot of meetings I will have to do, a lot of deadlines I'll have to meet up with. And it was a whole lot. It was tiring, it was stressful, and it was so overwhelming. And at some point, I just had to sit down and think, and I was like, it's like I'll have to pause these certain things. I did like a list of the things I was into, and I like picked some of them that I was going to put a pause to. And I was putting a pause not because I just felt like opting out, but because I felt that I was not putting as much energy as I would have because I was into a lot of things. So I was not putting as much energy and attention to the things I wanted to do. So I just felt like putting them aside. And when I've been able to re strategize and replan myself, then I will start up those things back again. And I realized that it helped me because I felt at ease and I felt like the load on me was not too much again. And I felt it was really needed. So I thought to share this topic with my listeners today. So I am going to be talking about the ways to reset. The first thing I will say is talk to your maker. And when I mean your maker, I mean your father, which is God. Because there are times we feel that okay, we can do these things on our own, and we have this mentality that I can do this on my own, I can do this thing on my own. But that is not true. We need God's help in every single thing we do. Because the moment when we don't have his help in whatever we are doing, we tend to lose focus, we tend to go out of the path, and we tend to miss our directions. So once you have God in every single thing you do, He will lead you in the right path, He will guide you on what to do, He will guide you on how to go about things. So learn to talk to your maker, communicate with him, ask him, God, which steps should I take to do this particular thing? How should I go about this particular thing? And when I was feeling overwhelmed with every single thing I had to do, I had to pray about it. God, I need strength. God, what should I do? Direct me. And I was actually instructed to let go of some things and put them aside, because I was just an all rounder into a lot of things, because I felt like I could do everything based on my own strength. And the truth is, I could not. I needed God's help. So learn to talk to your maker, communicate with him. Another thing is reflect on priorities. That is why it is good to have a journal. A journal is a book where you simply write things that have to do with your personal growth, your goals, things you want to achieve, your to-do list and all that. So in that your journal, you write things that you have doing, for example. Then you reflect on them, look at them, and then you try and single out which one are your priorities right now, the things that matter. Let me give you an example. I can be in a whole lot of things right now, and then I decide to list them all out, and then I'll try to pick the ones that are important. Like now, I can't single out my academics, because my academics is a major thing that I need to take serious. So you pick out your priorities, the ones that you know that okay, these ones are so important that I have to deal with them now. More of like a scale of preference. The ones that are more important to the ones that are least important. So you take the ones that are more important first. Then once you have been able to tackle that, then you go back to the other ones that you listed that also need attention, but not as much attention as the one that you listed first. So align your actions and goals accordingly, and you break them into small actionable steps that you know you'll be able to take, and you'll be able to break them in a way that it does not overwhelm you. You'll be able to break them in a way that you know that you actually be able to see it through. Another thing is to declutter. And when I mean declutter, I mean clearing out your space. Like simply getting rid of anything that is making you overwhelmed, or anything that is making you stress yourself. You simplify your routines. For example, now you might want to cover a particular course, and then you say that okay, I'm going to read overnight so that I'll be able to complete that particular course. And then after reading overnight, you realize that you are feeling tired the next day. You find a simpler way to do it. Maybe reading this particular part from this time to this time, taking a break, then coming back, reading this particular part for this time to this time. You have simplified your routine. Not that you are reading on a long stretch, at the end of the day you feel exhausted. You simplify your routines and you make it flexible. Sometimes I can just wake up on a Saturday and I realize that I have a lot of things to do, a lot of meetings to attend. Then I will choose to simplify them. I'll choose to make each and every one of them flexible for me. There are some meetings that I will say that I'm not able to attend and I won't eventually attend. Not because I choose to, but because I feel that if I attend it, I'm just going to overstress myself. Or if I attend it, I might not be as effective as I would want to be. So I'll just choose to single it out, then probably go for the next meeting that I'll be holding. So make it flexible and learn to relax and do what gives you joy. That's another way of decluttering. You relax, do what gives you joy. Take a walk, get yourself a treat, and just find a way to relax and calm yourself down. Another important thing is embrace change. Be open to change and see it as an opportunity for growth. Most times, when we feel that we have a lot of things to do, And we have this mentality that I have to do it by all means, I have to do it, I cannot stand not doing those things, because then you have this feeling like you have not accomplished. And because of that, you want to push yourself an extra mile to do that particular thing. But I want you to embrace change. I want you to accept the fact that there are times that you just need to take a break. There are times that you just need to sit down and rest, sit down and re-strategize. And it's not all the time that you have to overexert yourself and push yourself too much. So learn to embrace change. Changes like that will happen. Changes like times that you have to sit down and realize that you can't do all these things at once. You need to break them down. Changes like that will come about. But rather than beating yourself up over those changes, you see it as an opportunity for growth. See it as an opportunity to re-strategize. See it as an opportunity to get yourself back up and be more effective. Another thing, which is the last thing I'll be talking about, is have positive people around you. People who inspire and motivate you. When I was feeling that particular way, I had a friend to talk to. And then it happened that both of us were going through that same thing. So we were able to relate with each other, and we sort of like motivated each other. Because when she confided in me, I told her that you actually really do need that reset for yourself. You actually just need to take some time and rest and get back up. And it felt so nice because we could relate to each other and we were able to motivate each other. So have positive people around you that they are able to motivate you, they are able to encourage you, they are able to ginger you to do a whole lot of things. Friends that inspire you to do better, friends that motivate you every single time that you feel down. Have them in your corner. And I'm also going to be adding this. So during the time that I felt like I was into a whole lot of things, I did not even know what to record on my podcast. I was so confused because I was just into a whole lot of things that I did not even have time to like plan what I was going to talk about on my podcast. So this topic itself was inspired by God. Like God just brought it to me because I was panicking that how am I going to do it? Does it mean I'm not going to show up? And I was already feeling bad because I was like, I've made a decision that I always want to show up no matter what. And God just brought this topic to my heart and I was so happy. So I'm just here to say that if you feel the need to reset, please do. Don't beat yourself up over anything. Don't feel that, okay, I'm not putting in my best, okay, I've not achieved enough. Don't beat yourself up about anything. If you need to rest, if you need to reset, please do. And you'll be fine. You have God's backing, you have God's support all the way. And remember that I will always be rooting for you. Don't be scared. You can do it. And you got this. So, dear listener, you got this. And Oluwanifemi is always going to be rooting for you. Thank you for staying to the end of today's episode. I love you guys so much and thank you all for your amazing support this far. And remember, God